The numbers 1, 3, and 4 reactor buildings after the quake. The violent impact knocked out roofs and walls and left mountains of rubble. High levels of radiation had been detected in the wreckage. It was the man's first experience of working at the nuclear power plant.
It was an invisible threat. There was no way of identifying it.
The workers at the plant are being housed in an enhanced quake-resistant building. It's in the front line of recovery work and is designed to absorb major quake impact. Since the March 11 quake, up to 600 workers have been staying here. They sleep in a meeting room, in corridors, and other places. Each is given only one blanket.
I couldn't rest. Far from it. There were about 10 aftershocks. Sometimes breakfast and lunch were the same. 20 crackers, 1.5 liters of bottled water. That's all.
The president of TEPCO referred to safety control measures at the diet session on Monday.
Basically, workers' health and safety are our top priority. We've made sure that work is carried out with that in mind in all places.
But another man in his 50s doesn't feel secure working in the plant. He says TEPCO didn't brief him even once on radiation releases or protective measures.
Heavy machinery operators like us know nothing about radiation. We had no idea how much radiation we would be exposed to or how much of it would stay inside our bodies in the years to come, and what effect that would have.
Every worker should have been given a radiation monitoring device, or dosimeter. But the man says he wasn't given any kind of device while working at the plant in late March.
Each worker was given a dosimeter early on. But as more workers joined, only supervising employees received one, and they told us to evacuate when the readings rose.
TEPCO said that since April 1st, every worker has been provided with a dosimeter. The man says that he was so uncomfortable wearing a protective mask that he almost took it off.
It was too tight. I had trouble breathing after wearing the mask for only 3 hours. I loosened it when my face turned red. But I kept worrying, wondering if I was okay while I was working.
An expert on the work environment warned of serious health hazards unless sufficient protective measures are taken, even in an emergency.
TEPCO needs to educate workers about safety control for radiation and health management. Otherwise, there will be confusion. Evacuated residents will make brief visits to their homes in the future. They also need to be instructed on how to protect themselves from radiation exposure.
The workers at the plant are dedicating themselves to the recovery work. One of the workers says he is determined to carry on with the work, despite anxiety about explosions.
I'm terribly worried. I'm not even sure I'll leave here alive. But still, someone has to do it in a situation like this.
The workers in the plant are now struggling to stabilize the situation to stop a huge release of radioactive substances. 悟青山 NHK ワールド東京